On today's episode of Watch Jay Go, we are back with the supercharged Nissan Frontier. In the last episode, we got basically everything sorted out, except for the wheel speed sensors. They just came in, they're at O'Reilly's. Let's go get them and get this thing finished up. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Jay Go, and like I said, here with the 2001 Nissan Frontier with the supercharged 3.3 liter V6 in it. And in the last episode, of course, you guys saw this thing was driving better than ever and we got a ton of things fixed. But today we are here to go get the new glass. The new glass should be ready in a few more minutes. I'm waiting on the glass shop to call me back. They said the glass will be in today, and I'm heading straight over to their shop to get that done. And O'Reilly's also just said our wheel speed sensors are in. So first of all, we got these things. These are OEM Nissan. I got a bunch of them in my pocket here. And they're in little Ziploc bags, and it's the red paint matched clip that covers up the fastener, which is just a push fastener. I definitely think that's incorrect. I don't know why it would be a push fastener. And I also kind of think this isn't gonna fit, but we're gonna try. And we're just gonna hope that it works. Clearly these were spray painted and the spray paint work wasn't great. All right, so it looks like you put the bottom in first. And even then, it doesn't really fit, does it? Let's just try a different hole and see if we have any better luck. There we go. Well, that one sort of went in. These don't fit very well. All right. Well, I can promise you that's not coming back out. It went in with a snap. It looks like if you ever need to pull these out, pry from there, and the top two tabs should release, and then the bottom one will come out after. All right, trying again. And we got another one. Hey, it's going. All right, that's not coming back off. Cool. Well, now it all matches. Those were the only ones that were missing. So I think the truck looks a little bit more complete without big push fasteners or Christmas trees sticking out of the wide body. And we are here at O'Reilly's with this truck's real competitor, the one that doesn't die, that Tundra with the I-Force V8. That is the 5.7 that lasts forever. All right, let's grab some parts. We got our sensors. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a good day.
All right, let's go put these things on and see if we've got every light off the dash on the old Frontier. Okay, first things first, just like we talked about before, before I run all of this wire through the truck, it's got a ton of brackets that have to be mounted. The sensor's got to be installed in the hub and all of that fun stuff. I'm gonna plug the sensor in and then scan the truck again just to make sure the ABS computer thinks the new sensor's good. Also, this is the most ridiculous sensor I've ever seen in my life. Look at all this junk on there. Sub-harness this stuff. I mean, ever since, no one would ever do this again. This would be sub-harnessed in any modern vehicle. Wildest thing ever. It should be about a 6-inch pigtail coming out of that sensor. You guys aren't gonna believe this, but I plugged in the new sensor and look at that. It still reports a short. And left hand's the one that's hooked up, driver's side, and it should be reporting, you know, anything but short. So I got the meter out again. I put the meter on the new sensor. It measures 1.7 kilo ohms. That's well within the solid range, because I did actually have to go pull up the service manual to troubleshoot ABS on this thing. ABS is a little trickier than fly by seat of your pants usually. So I went and grabbed the manual. It's free, obviously, and it's in the BR section for brakes. And then just scroll down to your engine, because there's different ABS systems on both trucks. So there's a note in there saying that after you repair the truck, you probably need to go drive 30 mile an hour before it'll clear. So I guess let's put one side of this thing on here and go drive 30 mile an hour and see what we find. Well, I tried to time-lapse replacing that sensor, but it was a mess. It was really hard to get the camera somewhere that would work. And of course you have to take out something like 15 different bolts to get all those brackets off. And then you can pull that sensor out. Of course, guess what I found? The wrong sensor completely was installed. I don't know what the one that was in there is from, but it was not from this truck. It had this weird 45-degree Hall effect sensor on the bottom, and the one that just came from O'Reilly's for this truck, very different. That one has like a spike at the end, and that spike goes right down to the tone ring on the wheel bearing or the hub assembly. And you could look down in there, find the hub assembly, and then there was a bunch of rust in there from, I guess, the original one or something that was stuck. So I had to pipe brush all that out, fill the hole with knocker loose, and then I'd like spray it and then pipe brush more trash out, vacuum it out, and eventually I still even had to sand down the outside of the sensor, and it fit. It did not drop in. It was a nightmare. And when I say it didn't drop in, it required a block of wood to drive it in, so that sensor is never coming back out. You'll have to like chisel it out. But it was the correct sensor, which is just weird, and it works. So we have a wheel speed sensor on the driver's side. I've got the Autel right here, and as soon as we get moving, I'll show you guys the readings. The rear wheel speed sensor now matches the left-hand front. So we'll get back home, repeat the process again on the passenger side. It's actually even worse. You have to pull the battery and all kinds of stuff. But we're gonna get it done, and there will be no lights on the dash of this truck. I was pretty sure it was an ABS computer, to the point that I finally pulled the connector off and started measuring all the resistance at the computer just to make sure. And then I found out the new sensor read correctly. The old sensors were bad, and now it all works. There you have it, almost 100 kilometers an hour. Well, you know who you guys haven't seen on the channel in a while, the glass master, Ryan, from Blue Collar Collision and Glass. And he is flying through this thing. He's already got all the trim off of here. This trim is all screwed in, this trim pulls out, and this cowl had never been removed before is what he told me. So a cheap glass shop did this, and what they do is they just fill this with urethane, and then instead of pulling the cowl, they slide the old glass out and slide the new glass in, which just creates this disaster. And earlier, right before I headed over, I looked inside and I realized there's so much urethane in here that it was coming through. It's on the trim and on the inside of the windshield right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is horrible. So Brian's stripping, cutting all the old urethane right there, and of course the new windshield is right here. So this will be much better, way better than it was before, that's for sure. This is probably going to take a while to get through, isn't it?
Yeah,
oh, yeah. I can see how hard you're fighting there. That doesn't look fun. So anyway, if you're doing these jobs, please do them right.
Yes.
Yeah. Ryan had to go for the I'm done talking solution. Here we go. Hey, there's a dime in the windshield. Check it out. Free money, free sunflower seeds. It's always great to see. Clean this thing up. Where do you want your extra money at?
I don't know.
Put it right here.
That'll work.
That's almost half of one Tootsie Roll. Just like that. It looks like a newer truck. That's all it takes. The mirror fell off while we were pulling this thing out, so we can go fishing in here, grab the mirror, get the old tab out of here, throw that away. Slide it onto our fresh tab. And a couple minutes later, the Frontier is all back together. Ryan's putting those finishing touches on there. And all that's left is one more wheel speed sensor. I was late. I had to explain myself to Ryan. I was busy doing that wheel speed sensor over here for so long that took an extra like 15 minutes to get that done and get it back together. At least it works. Woohoo! We got new glass and it is way better. And check this out, everybody, a Southern Comfort Avalanche. If you've never seen this before, look, it's got the Ultimate LX badging and the tailgate there, the wide body, the steps, they're lighted. Socos are actually pretty cool. There's really only like 2 companies that do those conversions, and if I remember right, the same company that used to build all the Southern Comforts builds the FTX and the Call of Duty Modern Warfare and all the other like crazy trims like that, the Black Widow. SCA, yeah, I think SCA is what was like 2 companies that turned into one or something like that, because the SC, probably Southern Comfort. They're very easy to spot in traffic because they have that crazy paint fade, and I think it was $30,000 extra to have them throw some plastic and some paint on your truck. And we are back in the garage with the new windshield. I got the wheel lock out again, and I'm ready to pull this wheel off and do the next wheel speed sensor. So let's dig in here, and this shouldn't take too long. Battery has to come out though. That's pretty annoying. I wish I would have known or had the part the first time I took the battery out, because it's a chore. So time to get after it. We can take a better look at this side. I did get the connector undone up under the hood. It's that connector right there, and it sits way down on the frame. So if you can get it slid off its bracket, it'll make it easy to disconnect that plug there. So here is the speed sensor. Let's see, right there. You got to get that bolt out, which is a 12 or a 13, and then a 10, and then there's a 10 underneath here, and then there's a 10 right here. And then after you go up here, 2 more 10s, I think, that hold that wire on. On the other side, there were even more brackets than this. And then there's your connector. So that's how you do wheel speed sensors. And if it's shaped like a 45, you got the wrong one. Let's get this out of here and I'll show you guys what I mean. The 10 ratchet wrench is your best friend for this job. It's really hard to get sockets in most of the locations other than that one. And even this one, you can't do too much. So just grind it out with your ratchet wrench and you'll get it done. All right, here's how that wheel speed sensor goes in here. Of course, you got to get the speed sensor in, which went in much easier over here on the passenger side. I pre-sanded it with a Ducati and it dropped right into the hole. I didn't take off too much, but apparently I got it right. And you'll have a 10 there and a 10 here, which snapped off inside the control arm, as it does. So we got it anchored with 2 zip ties, and as you guys know, temporary fix that's definitely staying forever. And then a 10 here, and then there's a 10 here, and then a 10 here. And then there's a bunch of clips you have to plug in on the wire that run down the chassis right here, right up to the front, where I showed you guys it plugs in. Right down there. And it's all hooked up. You can see that gray connector just kind of peeking out. It's time to put the wheel back on and take this thing for a test drive. I think we should have every light off the dash. And I'm pretty excited about that. Also, it needs ran through a bath of degreaser like 20 times. There's power steering fluid everywhere. At least it doesn't leak anymore, but it sure went everywhere when it was leaking. And if I didn't show a clear view of it, this is totally the wrong sensor. I don't know what it's for, but it's definitely not for this car. The one with the metal point on the end is the one for your Frontier. The Frontier is all back together and on the ground. Let's go find out if 2, well, correct wheel speed sensors fix the problem. I think it's gonna do it. Hopefully the light shuts off. And if it doesn't, well, I guess we're done working on it for the night. Okay, according to our trusty service manual, if we drive a little bit at 30 miles or kilometers an hour, this ABS light should shut back off. Time for that late night test drive. Oh, that was it. As soon as I pulled out of the driveway, it fixed itself. Yeah, buddy. And there we have it, a Frontier with no lights on the dash. I don't know why I'm sitting so close. Something's up with my seat. Well, this is 100% better than the hack job of a flip that was dropped off at my door about a week ago. We fixed a whole lot of stuff on this car. The radio, obviously the wheel speed sensors, the check engine light, the power steering leak, the alignment, sway bar bushings, a lot of stuff. There was a laundry list that went into this thing, but it's sorted out. It's got cold air, hot air, working radio, and some trim pieces and a new windshield. So quite a bit of stuff knocked out pretty quickly, and I'm excited to go drop it back off, and well, it'll be out of my life, which is honestly the best part of the whole thing. Well, there you have it, the end of the Frontier series. This is headed back over to my dad, and they're gonna go deliver it to our family friend. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've already got a new car. That's why the floor is absolutely covered in transmission fluid. I think the new car is gonna be hilarious, and it's so much better than this. It's crazy the difference in just, it's 7 years newer, and the difference is like going from an 80s Datsun with the hooks on the side of the bed to a new Escalade. It's crazy the difference in build quality from there to there. Anyway, I'm super excited about the new car. You guys will see it very soon. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjargo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. Woohoo! The red truck's out of here. That's a good view. No lights on the dash. Cruise control, holding the throttle for me. You can see cruising set there, and rolling down the road.